KIMT News 3, coverage you can count on. This is KIMT News 3 at 5.
Snowfall still covering the entire upper Midwest. I'm meteorologist Sarah Knox. I'm going to let you know all you need to about this system and when it's going to end.
I'm Kaylin Thompson, live in Storm Tracker 3. Coming up, I'll give you a look at the roads outside.
As you just saw, the evening commute could be a battle between the elements. I'm Jeremiah Wilcox with what State Patrol wants you to know as you drive home.
Thank you for joining us on KIMT News 3 at 5. It's the story on everyone's minds today as that snow continues to fall 2 weeks after the official start of spring. The conditions are impacting travel and causing schools, businesses, and services to cancel and close. Tonight, we are bringing you team coverage of the weather, and we start with our KIMT Storm Team 3 meteorologists. They're tracking the action as the winter storm batters the area. For the latest, let's check in with meteorologist Sarah Knox. She joins us now from our Rochester studio. Sarah?
Thank you very much, Amy. Yes, the snow still covering the entire area, although starting to show signs of weakening, especially to the west, over the strongest band right now going over Olmsted County, as well as the continuing area into central Wisconsin. It's a big system, as you could see, a lot of snow all the way towards the Great Lakes. Closer into the area, there's that tough band we're seeing with the stronger snowfall, the darker blues. That is about to come to an end. However, the winter storm warning, not so much. That is in effect until 4 a.m. on Wednesday, and that's for the entire viewing area. We'll keep you up to date as things change, but what it means is heavy snow, blowing snow, and even a light glaze of ice, especially as those temperatures continue to fall for the evening. Check this out, by 2 a.m. we're only at 20 degrees, so well below that freezing point. A lot of the roadways right now are wet, and that's going to flash freeze very quickly as we head on into the evening. Now for a check on the traffic and a couple viewer pictures you sent in. Those birds, John, I'm telling you, they look like they're suffering. John Rivas, take it away.
Yeah, we are not the only ones that are suffering this storm. Going to be looking at more of some viewer photos. This is from Bob and Leland. This is unfortunately of the poor birds that have migrated back into this icy, snowy mess. And we have another viewer picture. This is going to be from Lori in North Iowa, really focusing on the nasty road conditions. That's what I'm going to be focused on over the next about 30 seconds or so. It's just along I-35 and I-90, green traffic flows, but that does not mean that road conditions have improved since throughout the day. Zooming in North Iowa along the Avenue of the Saints, slowing down a little bit near Norris Springs. As we look in further north in southern Minnesota, not going to see any major slowdowns, but everyone should be driving slow with the road conditions that we do have. And now even in Rochester along Broadway, slowing down just around 10 to 20 miles per hour. But let's take a trip along 52, where starting on 52 and 63 South, seeing lowered visibilities completely. Even going a little bit further north in 2nd Street South at 52, still going to have some pretty wet roads and that lowered visibility, snow still falling. Same story in 37th Street Northwest at 52. Tracking this system still throughout the rest of the day because snow is still falling. But for an updated look at what Albert Lee is currently looking at, we go live to KIMT News' Kaylin Thompson. She's live in Storm Tracker 3. Kaylin, what can you tell us?
Thanks so much, John. Well, we are driving along County Road 46 in Freeborn County, just outside of Albert Lee here. I'll give you a look at what we're seeing on the roadways now. Here's what these partially covered roads are looking like that our meteorologists are talking about. This means as people are driving home from work tonight, they're going to have to take it slow. That's because the snow is coming down and it's blowing all across the roadway. Now, I talked to one traveler today who drove to work. He said he didn't think the roads were too bad, and honestly, I didn't either. However, as we continue to go throughout the night, they will get worse. That's due to those dropping temperatures. Live in Albert Lee, Kaylin Thompson, KIMT News 3.
Thank you very much, everybody. Now, that snowfall really kind of focused along and east of I-35 at this hour. And zooming into North Iowa, you can really see the snowfall, at least the heavier band, is now around Mason City and places to the east. St. Ansgar, Osage, Charles City, everybody looking at that snow, even places just to the west of Mason City where the radar isn't showing that snowfall is reaching the ground, but it is as those visibilities continue to lower. Now, across the area, we do have that snowfall beginning to end, as you see just off to our west. Let's get a view on our Mason City live eye in the sky, and you can really start to see that those visibilities remain reduced. They will be that way for the remainder of this evening. And just at this hour in North Iowa, look at this. Many visibilities are at and just under 1 mile. So we'll start to see conditions get a little bit better later tonight. We'll have an update for you as far as when that will be coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Tyler. During any winter storm, you can find the latest on weather, closings, and road conditions on KIMT.com. As the snow is moving its way through southern Minnesota and North Iowa, it might be looking pretty, but it's terrible to drive in. What started out this morning as a light dusting is now heavy and wet, making for poor travel conditions. KIMT News 3's Jeremiah Wilcox joins us live near Highway 52, where drivers had to take extra precautions. Jeremiah?
Yes, Amy, I am in front of Highway 52, where Rochester saw measurable snowfall starting last night, and the weather is making the commute very rough today. Now, so far, Minnesota State Patrol says they sent out extra troops to help patrol the roads, but even with all that extra reinforcement, some people are still worried about accidents. Sean Taylor is shoveling snow to clear her driveway.
I'm trying to go and drive.
She says she doesn't like to drive during the winter because she was in a snow-related accident that took her friend's life.
It was the worst day of my life, and I think it was the worst day for a few years.
Minnesota State Patrol says that statewide, there were nearly 300 crashes today and over 200 vehicles that spun off the road. Taylor says even years after the accident, she is still cautious about driving in snow.
I just don't risk it.
Ray Patterson, he didn't know the snow was going to come down like this when he drove to Rochester from Virginia.
Yeah, big deal. I've heard that before.
Says it's now been colder longer than it's been warmer.
Good heavens, it's April. Maybe there'll be a little skiff of snow. So I didn't expect this.
Now, I spoke to a State Patrol officer who tells me that drivers need to slow down and take their time. Now, the snow is expected to continue until tonight around 8, but it could go longer. Reporting live in Rochester, Jeremiah Wilcox, KIMT News 3.
Thank you, Jeremiah. If you see someone who's not driving safely, you are urged to contact 911 or fill out an unsafe driving incident form on the Minnesota Department of Safety's website. You can find a link to that form on our website, KIMT.com, posted with this story under local news. Local hotels are seeing some extra business thanks to the snowfall. Assistant General Manager Jeff Simpson with the Holiday Inn and Suites in Albert Lea says he personally hates this weather, but when it comes to his job at the hotel, he loves it. He says he gets a lot of calls throughout the day from people asking about the condition of the roads, which in some cases means they will be looking for a place to stay for the night. Simpson says while winter storms often bring in more customers, they also keep some away as well.
We'll get people that are calling we'll get half of the people are calling to cancel the reservations for tonight because they're leaving from another state, but then we also make up for that and then some with people pulling off the interstate and the highway.
Checking in with Rochester's Holiday Inn Express and Suites, we learned the hotel was completely booked as of last night due to this storm. Mason City's hotels say that it's also riding a roller coaster of cancellations and new reservations.
The snow continues to fly at this hour in Mason City. I'm Storm Team 3 meteorologist Brandon Libby. Coming up, I'll let you know what you should expect for the rest of your evening.
You're watching KIMT News 3 at 5. KIMT News 3, coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. Our team coverage continues as we track the latest developments on the spring snowstorm hitting the area. Let's check in with KIMT Storm Team 3 meteorologist Brandon Libby. He joins us now live in Mason City. Brandon.
The snow continues to fall here in Mason City. We are seeing very big, fat flakes. Now, there's a lot of water content in this snow, meaning it's very easy to compact. You can make snowballs very easily, but lucky for us, the roadways here, this is South Washington Avenue, are very warm. So we're seeing a lot of melting. So your evening commute actually not looking that bad in and around Mason City over the next few hours. Now, temperatures right now, they are close to 30 degrees. Of course, we're seeing that snow fall, a very strong north wind. So out in the open, we could be seeing some blowing snow, reduced visibility, and of course it does feel colder than what it actually is. Now for the rest of this evening, temperatures dropping very quickly through the 20s. The snow continues all the way through this evening, ending tonight. So once those temperatures do drop drop into the 20s. We do have that chance at seeing some refreezing on the roadways. That is one thing we'll continue to track out here live in the field. Live in Mason City, meteorologist Brandon Libby, KIMT News 3.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Special elections normally don't see very high turnouts, and with this weather, you can probably imagine not many voters are showing up for the Mason City Schools special election. KIMT News 3's Brian Tabak is live now at the courthouse to tell us just how low those numbers actually are. Brian?
Amy, I'm at the Saragordo County Courthouse, which is just one of the polling places for today's election. Now, those who are in charge of the polls tell me they were surprised by the amount of people who actually came out and voted, but voters I spoke with say there's a reason they're braving the weather. James Marinas is one of a couple hundred voters who have headed out to the polls so far today. He says getting out to vote to extend the physical plant and equipment levy and the instructional support levy is something everybody should be doing despite the weather. The vote is to extend both the Pebble Fund, which is used for infrastructure projects, as well as school buses for 10 years. It would also extend ISL, which is a combination of property taxes, personal income, and surtax for a decade. Taxes would not go up through this vote, but would allow a school to fund various positions, including social worker, nurses, and librarians.
It's about our kids. I mean, granted, it's not a nice day outside, but it's certainly worth, our children are worth making the effort, and it's an easy thing to do.
Now, these measures need to pass with a 50% +1 majority. Live in Mason City, Brian Tabak, KIMT News 3.
Thank you, Brian. Polls are open until 8. We will have the results from the election and an update on voter turnout tonight on KIMT News 3 at 10.
The snowfall is not done in our area yet. Still pretty moderate snow, mainly east of I-35, still lingering. We'll have an update for you from both Iowa and Minnesota coming up in your Storm Team 3 forecast.
We track storms to alert you first. This is KIMT Storm Team 3, weather coverage you can count on.
Welcome back, my friends. I've got some good news. Check this out. The system showing signs of weakening, especially to the west of I-35. However, still seeing lighter blues in areas like Albert Lea and moving in towards the Rochester area. Lighter blue, once again, means lighter snowfall. Unfortunately, still seeing heavier bands of snow as well, trying to make its way through Olmsted County and eventually hitting into Preston. Now, good news continues by 6 p.m. There it is. We're already seeing this on Storm Tracker. A lot of the system starting to weaken. Unfortunately, it looks like it has a quick comeback by 8. By 10 p.m., that's when things start to finally filter out. Unfortunately, Olmsted County, we'll see this snowfall last all the way until around 2 a.m. Right behind that, though, some high pressure clearing out a lot of those clouds, and we're seeing nothing but sunshine for Wednesday before the clouds return during the evening hours, and ultimately into Thursday, mostly cloudy skies do return. Now, the snowfall prompting weather alerts across our entire area and includes most of the Midwest as well. Winter storm warnings. It's because we're seeing heavy snow, blowing snow, and an additional snowfall to what we've already seen. We're expecting 3.4 more inches in Rochester, 4 in Iota, 2.8 in Dodge Center, 2.2 in Austin, 2.4 in Albert Lea. Current temperatures, very important to watch this as well. 29 in Rochester, 30 in Austin, 28 in Albert Lea. The reason these temperatures are hovering right around that freezing point, but they're going to keep falling. And as they do, mixed in with the strong winds coming in from the north, that's when we start to see things flash freeze on the road, as well as blowing snow. The winds just looking to stay pretty consistent through the evening around that 20-mile-per-hour mark. Now let's take a look outside right now with Storm Team 3 meteorologist John Rivas. John, what can you tell us about the snowfall falling here in Rochester?
I'm outside in Rochester right now where the snow still falling down pretty nicely. In fact, who doesn't like some frosted flakes? Even as we go through the rest of today, still gonna be dealing with more of this wet, heavy snow falling. The bad thing with this is that it is melting once it hits the ground. You know, it's good for the roadways right now. It's just not gonna lead to completely covered roads, especially when it comes to the highways. But as we get into tonight, looking at this temperature decline overnight, it's going to drop rapidly, especially after 10 o'clock. But even after 10 o'clock and around 10, even close to 9, 8 o'clock, but well below freezing, a lot of that moisture freezing, well below freezing, and all that's going to be continuing to give it slick glaze over the roads, and that's going to be what we deal with for tonight, even lingering into our Wednesday morning commute. And I'll be keeping you up to date on that throughout daybreak tomorrow morning. But right now, at least the temperatures continuing to stay just at that 30-degree mark. A lot more melting, not so much refreezing yet, but that it is going to be changing as we go into the rest of tonight with those much cooler, well below average temperatures returning. That's what it looks like right now in Rochester, but let's go live to Albert Lee. That's where we find KIMT News 3's Kaylin Thompson. She's live in the Storm Tracker 3. Kaylin, what are you currently seeing?
Thanks so much, John. That's right. I am in Storm Tracker 3 right now, heading back towards Albert Lee, still on County Road 46. I'll give you what we're seeing right now. Here are those partially covered roadways. Once again, the snow is still coming down, not as big as flakes as I was seeing earlier, but still coming down pretty steadily and also blowing along the roadway. You can see where it blew from the side to on the roadway. Now, as we pass cars, you know, we're taking it slow on our way, as you should on your way home from work, from school, taking it slow on these roadways. We're trying to give you a look all across the area in Albert Lee. Coming up at 6, I'll be talking to some travelers about the way they think the roads are going and go from there. Live in Storm Tracker 3, Kaylin Thompson, KIMT News 3. Tyler, what do you have for us?
Thank you very much, Kaylin. Still snowfall flying across the area, a little more intense just east of I-35. And zooming into North Iowa, you can really start to see some of those towns in that more moderate band of snowfall. Just to show you that, let's look at our Charles City, live eye in the sky. Heavy snow falling, and while road conditions are okay at the moment because temperatures are still in that upper 20s to low 30s range, those temperatures do fall pretty quickly. As far as what you can expect for the remainder of this evening, you'll start to see that snow exit by around midnight. Cloud cover clearing out just in time for sunrise tomorrow, and because of that, that's really going to result in a pretty significant temperature drop, hence why some of those chunks of snow, that slush, will lead to refreezing across the area. Just as a heads up, tonight's lows do dip into the lower double digits, winds staying very strong, so areas of blowing snow a bit of a concern just before this ends, before things start to get a little bit better. Amy?
Thanks, Tyler. Next, we are taking you to the Community Kitchen of North Iowa, which kept busy today, feeding a warm meal to those who needed a place to get out of the snow. We head there for a live report next. The Mason City Community Kitchen provides meals to many who may not have much. And during severe weather, it can also provide a place of warmth and companionship. KIMT News 3's Alex Jurgens is live at the kitchen on the important role it plays in the harshest of conditions. Alex?
That's right, Amy. Even though the flakes are coming down here, plenty of people are still coming inside to the community kitchen here in Mason City. About 20 people actually are showing up for the evening meal from now until 6 o'clock. Now, even though it's cold and it's snowy and everything like that, community kitchens serve a very vital role in the community and serving food to those who need it, even in times like these.
The dining room area cleared out after the midday meal, but when food was being served, the kitchen was packed. About 60 people came in for pulled pork, fruit salad, and apple pie. Robert Jones is currently in between jobs and tries to come down every day if there isn't enough food available at his house. He says having the kitchen in the community helps people that are struggling to make ends meet any time of the year, and is surprised by how many people brave the elements to grab a plate.
I mean, there was a lot of people today, but not as much as like usual other days, like hot days. Or like, for instance, like on Thanksgiving and Christmas, like dinners, they have like the whole place is packed. I mean, they got lines like lined up outside.
Now, I was speaking with Sandy over here at the kitchen earlier, and she was telling me that, you know, even though it's the 3rd of the month, which typically is around the time when some people who do come in here to eat typically get their assistance checks, traffic has actually been increasing here. So it's kind of quite contrary to what normally happens. Live in Mason City, Alex Jurgens, KIMT News 3.
Thank you, Alex. The kitchen is open Monday through Saturday, serving lunch at 11:30, while an evening meal is served Monday through Thursday evenings from 5 to 6. When we come back, we'll stop by the newsroom for a look at our Team Storm coverage coming up on KIMT News 3 at 6. Plus, Sarah and Tyler will be back for a last look at the forecast.
Here's a look at what's coming up tonight at 6. More than 1,300 people were without power today in Mason City. We hear from one man who says he's thankful the outage didn't last long. Plus, our team coverage of this winter storm continues with live looks at the current conditions from around the area. Those stories and more when we see you back here at 6. But first, here's Sarah with a look at your forecast.
Thank you very much, Katie. Looking forward to the 6 p.m. But quickly, let's get a check on the 7-day forecast for Rochester and southern Minnesota, where the weekend is always in view. The snowfall gone by tomorrow. We're looking at sunny skies. However, 27 our high. Very cold all throughout the week. We do go back up this weekend, Sunday, 37 degrees, still well below where we normally should be. We also see that chance for a wintry mix return. Unfortunately, with the temperatures staying in the 30s, that's what we're looking at as we head into next week as well. Now, that's a look at Rochester, southern Minnesota, 7-day. Let's go and send it to Tyler, who has a check on Mason City, northern Iowa, and what we can expect there.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And, you know, we're not done with this kind of cold weather just yet. As a matter of fact, we still have more chances for even some snowfall in the next 7 days. This is the 7-day forecast focusing on North Iowa. You'll notice by the end of the week we have another temperature drop. And while the weekend starts pretty nice, partly cloudy skies, another round of rain, snow, potentially turning over to all snow Sunday night and into Monday will make a return. We'll get to spring eventually.
I hope so. Join us again at 6.